I've been making games for about 30 years, and this is definitely the rawest state I've ever let anyone outside of the development team get their hands on it. I've done closed betas before, open betas before, geo-locked betas before, where the game's in an early state, but nothing nearly this early. It's actually really nerve-wracking. There's just so many unknowns right now. It's a very new experience.
After developing their powerful new games technology, the Elements engine, the team at Reforge Studios now faces their next challenge, creating a game to run on it. With the announcement of the game's development to the public fast approaching, and content creators set to arrive the next day for a live demo, excitement is in the air. This is breaking new ground for Reforge.
Have I ever shown a game publicly this early? No, never. That's not something I'd be comfortable with. I'm David, I'm the art director, and I'm helping out on Reforge in supporting the art leads to create their vision for the game. Announcing the game this early in development, the main advantage is the community can contribute to the ideas within the game. For example, if the art and design team have decided they wanted a bear in the game, we might just go, right, we'll do a bear, our favorite bear's the grizzly bear. Everyone must love grizzly bears. But the community might say, actually, we'd like to see a honey bear or a koala bear even. That could drive the kind of creature we make and the behaviors it would have as well. So that would be one of the advantages that we could see.
So I suppose what makes working in Reforge different is we're building the engine from the ground up. Previous projects we've used like out-of-the-box engines, readily available that we can use. This is both a game and an engine that's built from the ground up. So for the presentation, I am driving, I'm controlling the game as we go. So one of the things I'll be doing is practice playing the game and making sure my building skills are up to scratch. I want to show what the engine can do and what tools we've got in it.
It feels amazing to work with Reforge Studios because I've kind of been a fan for them for the entire time. I've spent so many hours playing games that they've worked on in the past. I'm Joe Garrett and I'm a consultant for Reforge Studios. At the showcase event, I'm going to be presenting the in-game part of the presentation with Tom. I've been on stage and I've done kind of live Let's Plays and stuff, but I've never presented a game before. I think it's a really good idea to show the game as early as we are. Even though it's not traditional, it means that we're able to get input on the game very early on. And I think that will ultimately help shape the game and make it a better game.
I'm Chris Kyle. I'm the chairman and co-founder of Reforge Studios. This game is so different from anything we've done before because not only is it based on a brand new technology that we spent 4 or 5 years building from scratch, but it's a community-driven game. It's a game that we think we know the direction of travel, but until the community sees it, we won't know.
My name is Brian Gomez, and I am the creative director of Reforge Studios. This is not how a typical game developer would work. In the history that we've had working on the Minecraft console ports and all of the content that we created, like mini games, we really enjoyed working with the community. People would react and say, I wish the controls did that, I wish the camera worked this way. And Reforge always looked at that and actually taking that stuff on board and implementing it. So we actually got a very short feedback loop with the community on that content where people would ask for something or say, I wish it did this. And by the next build, it was there for them to test. And it seemed like the best way to recapture that is to just let people in very, very early.
There's 2 days until the presentation. Yeah, things are ramping up in intensity. We've got lots of testing going on. Got lots of practice run-throughs of the demo, lots of bugs being squashed last minute, so 2 days to go.
One of my slight concerns for the presentation is the fact that we are generating a brand new procedurally generated world live in front of them. I'm really hoping that we don't end up getting a dud on the day and getting a really boring world. I don't think it will happen, but that is the main thing that's a bit of a dice roll on the day.
One of the things that we encountered during the live demo practice was I may have built a house and then went flying to try and explore the environment, and then I lost the house. So we spent about 10 minutes just trying to find it. I didn't save the coordinates, I didn't save where it was, I didn't even look at what landmarks there was. We just lost the house, so spent a wee while trying to find it. But I did find it in the end. It was in the corner of the map, of course. So I'm hoping this is not going to go wrong again. We're going to pick a really recognizable spot and we're not going to get lost.
Five, four, three, two, one.
And just like that, the development of Reforge was announced around the globe, sparking enthusiastic responses among fans and Forge staff alike. The next morning, 8 prominent content creators from across the UK arrived for an in-depth presentation and a closer look at the game.
Well, I'm naturally a pessimist, so it feels really unnatural to say this, but it went really, really well, actually. The reaction from our guests today, the YouTubers, was really positive. They're asking questions that tells me they're thinking about the game and the possibilities of the features that we gave them a peek at today, the same way that the design team is. We even held some things back, and they've made the natural connection and said, ooh, does that mean that I could do this and this and this? And sometimes we've played coy and not answered, and sometimes we've said, like, yes, that's exactly what we're going to do.
There's loads of brilliant comments on the day from the YouTubers that were here. I was surprised at just how quickly they got what we were trying to do. We thought we'd been incredibly clever about some of the structures and some of the way forward, but they went straight to it. They loved the changes that we're making in terms of how you can possibly build in this game, tools and techniques that just make it more intuitive and easier. They found them really, really quickly. And overall, I think we got a fantastic response.
Did anything go wrong during the presentation? Well, I mean, we didn't crash it, which is good. I did use one of the tools just a little bit too much, and just as Joe was saying, this engine can handle it, it won't even sneeze. It of course sneezed. It's because I was rapidly clicking our destruction tool at its maximum setting, and again, it didn't crash, but it certainly didn't look good for what he was saying.
So the presentations went really well. I was a little bit nervous for kind of the first 10 minutes, but then I relaxed. We got some really great questions from the YouTubers during it. I was worried beforehand that we might not get a good world or a good cave, and I think we got a pretty decent one, but I also realized we shouldn't have worried because they were going to play for hours afterwards anyway and load loads of worlds, so they got to see all the different types of worlds we have.
I think we were really pleasantly surprised by the appetite from the YouTubers for advanced construction tools. Those things, we wanted to show them because we thought, hey, they might like them, but nobody's going to really want these in the game. These are really dev tools. But there's a great conversation started to happen about how that could be presented within the game.
There was a whole other layer of development tools that we knew players would enjoy to get their hands on, but we didn't know if content creators out there would feel like it was giving away too much. Actually, they validated it and said, like, no, we want those tools. Those things are amazing. If you just make it a distinct mode, so it's like creative mode and then like a creative mode plus, where you can really sculpt the terrain and make massive sweeping changes very quickly to the world. They're saying, look, as long as I can look at a build and go, oh, that was creative plus mode versus regular creative mode, we're all for it. We can't wait to get our hands on those. So that was really good to have that validated for us.
What we achieved was an understanding that actually, yeah, we are aligned with that community. We know what they want. And also the fact, and this is something that's really important, time just disappeared. We're watching each other building, and I just got sucked into the whole flow of what was going on. That was really, really crucial for us to see. And when you're building the game, you're way too close to it. So you can't tell whether you've achieved that or not achieved that. But I think we now know we're in a pretty good place to move forward from here.
So we have now finished the prototype milestone, we've announced the game, we've shown it publicly for the first time, and so we're now going to be moving on to the survival milestone, which is going to be a really exciting one because we're going to be adding things to the game that can kill the player.
Now that the prototype is over, we're back on planning for what we want to put in next. Really keen to get some mobs in the game, raises the stakes a little bit. There's still some more world generation improvements we'd like to make, design issues to solve, like PC controls. Yeah, the list goes on, there's a lot of things to do. I'm looking forward to it.
After all of the presentations, we went to Wild Shore Dundee, which is this big inflatable assault course on the water. It's in the ocean. It was freezing, but it was a really good time for the Forge staff members to kind of just hang out just socially with the YouTubers.
Yes, obviously the presentation fills you with adrenaline, and then jumping straight into the tea is just cold and salty, and yeah, that's about jumping into the tea as I would expect. I I'm not a big fan of water, so it was not great, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. It was a good, refreshing shock to the system, I guess.